Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m., the streetlight outside Jonah's apartment flickered and went dark. It stayed that way for 1 minute, no more, no less, before humming back to life. The city had been asked about it, maintenance tickets filed, inspections promised, but nothing ever changed. Jonah noticed because he couldn't sleep, and because the darkness did something strange to the air. On the first night he caught it, the silence felt deeper, as if the city were holding its breath. On the second, he heard footsteps where the sidewalk should have been empty. By the fifth night, he realized the footsteps were circling the streetlight, slow and patient. On the seventh night, Jonah stood by the window instead of lying in bed. When the light went out, the darkness didn't just settle, it opened. Beneath the dead bulb, a narrow door appeared, standing upright on the pavement as if it had always belonged there. It was made of wood darkened by rain and time, and on it was a small brass plaque that read, "Unfinished Matters." Jonah didn't remember deciding to go downstairs. He only remembered the cold air biting his arms as he stood before the door. The handle turned easily. Inside was a long hallway filled with objects, a packed suitcase with no owner, a cracked teacup still warm, a letter folded but never sealed. Each item hummed faintly, alive with almosts and maybes. Jonah understood without being told. These were moments. Abandoned halfway through. At the end of the hall sat an old woman at a desk, writing names into a ledger. She looked up and smiled as though she'd been expecting him for years. "You're early," she said. "For what?" Jonah asked. She tapped the ledger. To finish something. Jonah thought of the call he never returned. The apology rehearsed but unsent. The dream he set aside because it felt too fragile to survive daylight. The hallway seemed to lean closer, listening. "I don't know where to start," he whispered. "That's all right," the woman said gently. "No one ever does." She handed him a small key, warm in his palm. When Jonah looked up again, the hallway was gone. He stood alone beneath the streetlight as it flickered back on, the door vanishing like breath on glass. In his pocket, the key remained. That morning, Jonah made a phone call. Then another. The streetlight continued its ritual every night. But Jonah no longer watched from the window. Some doors, after all, don't need to be seen twice to be opened.